Bryan from B.A.Cons. We're here with celebrity star Chase Kloetzke. Awesome information we're going to get here. I'm kind of like a kid in a candy store right here because this is kind of like right up my alley with this stuff. First of all, can you give us a background on your experience and what you do?
Yeah, I'm a UFO investigator. I currently lead a special assignment team, which is a Tier 4 investigative group for the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON, as we most commonly know it as. But I also started an investigation team through KGRA Radio, realizing all the contacts that we have with our guests like you. Yeah, we talk to a lot of people, and we have a lot of access to expertise. So we decided to go ahead and open up and let's do our own investigations at our own station using some of the best minds out there. But I've been doing it since 1994, and my focus is evidence.
Awesome. So like you said, I think earlier you said boots on the ground, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands getting dirty?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't think you can investigate properly on a phone.
Right, exactly, yeah. Or looking at pictures and swiping through them, right?
Right, exactly.
So one of my first questions for you is, I'm prior Navy, and I believe you said your husband is Navy as well?
Yep, sure.
Any USO things that we can hear about from you? I'm always interested in that. Just
absolutely, and USOs are something that's common in the UFO field, or the types of UFO reports we get. So coming out of the water, it's almost a perfect avenue for a craft that can handle space. It's almost the same dynamic.
Right.
And we do know that we have the technology, at least for us, where we can survive 20 years under the water, making their own oxygen in the submarines and clean water. If it wasn't for food, they would even have enough fuel to stay down. So it's just really interesting, the technology that we have. So thinking about other species out there throughout the universe, or the multiverse, whatever your theory, it's just really it's just a reality. We know it is. UFO investigators will tell you we solved our UFOs real 10 years ago.
Right.
What we're doing now is, who are they and what do they want?
Right. Yeah, I think my big thing is with aliens is the whole thing behind UFOs, USOs, aliens is it's kind of, I don't want to say ignorant, but it is kind of not using your brain that there is something out there, how big the galaxy is, let alone the universe.
Right. There's
something out there that somebody's got to be a lot older society than us that has already came across all the information to get here and check us out as I hate to say it as a field study.
Right.
But in a way, that's kind of how I think of it as that. And that's what the USO was big with me, is in the Navy. You do see a lot of weird things out at sea, and it's not because you're dehydrated or you have not enough lemons on the ship to keep your stomach at bay. But I think that has to be looked at. Maybe there's a lot of people that are scared to come out and talk about it, and things like that. Like my own experience I had was in the Navy in Puerto Rico. I was a corpsman, but I was sent to security to do a security detail, and we had a friend of mine. She was with me, and we were on patrol. We had parked at an area where we checked the beach to make sure people aren't out at night. And we had a big flash of light in the middle of the vehicle. Just flashed, and both of us had no idea what happened. And then when we came to, we didn't get knocked out. It was just kind of like a freeze in time.
Right.
And then when we came to, we both kind of looked at our watches, and we're like, we've been here 20 minutes, and the radio was going off from the security calling us saying, "Hey, Charlie 33, where are you at?" And I'm like, I'm at Jet Ski Beach. I checked in like 2 seconds ago. And they're like, "No, you've been gone 20 minutes." So we're kind of like, okay, this was kind of weird. This was kind of I really haven't shared that experience too much, but it is.
I would love to have that officially on the record, because Puerto Rico is not only a hot spot, but I'm the national director of Puerto Rico for MUFON right now.
Oh, wow.
But, to kind of look at the time of all this to see how many, if anyone else reported anything odd, or how many others have had that exact kind of experience in that area.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys that were doing investigations of that area for the USOs were like over in Dominican and Jamaica, just in that little like crescent moon shape right there with Puerto Rico, that they have, I hate to say a base, but you always hear those things of that kind of thing down there.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know about those until probably 6-7 years after this experience. So it was kind of a different I don't know, kind of a different thing that my friend, she still doesn't share it. We both kind of had a little emotional experience after. It was kind of weird for us, but because we were both corpsmen, we're both medical guys,
right?
So
very scientific.
Yeah, we were very about like, what happened? What's the evidence? Let's check our pulses. Let's do everything and see what's going on.
It's why military guys or pilots are considered our best witnesses, because they're trained observers, and you can't be in the field or be deployed and not completely hone in and learn everything you can about your area. So you know what's normal, what's not normal, and of course we know that military members are not typically prone to fantasy or delusional state,
right.
like or I got it wrong. You know, very detailed. So I love your account. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it was
Great
definitely
take.
a crazy experience. And thinking saying crazy stuff. Okay, I have an issue with not an issue, but just a scientific inquiry on Nephilim. I know you were talking about those earlier today. A lot of people maybe they don't know, but it's like Goliath, like you were talking about, like David and Goliath story from the Bible.
Yes.
And can you explain a little bit about Nephilim for our audience?
There is in Genesis 6 in our standard Holy Bible. There's just this little passage about how the fallen angels had come to the earth on Mount Hermon, and they thought human women were beautiful, and they had sex with them, and they created a hybrid race of people, and kind of this anomalous new breed of giants. And there's just like this little passage, but then you go back to like the Book of Enoch and the Jubilees and Gilgamesh, all these others that are now instituted as proper and sound. We're taking a deeper look. These are big stories about a hybrid race on this earth, many years ago, and basically we're doing the DNA on a lot of the elongated skulls throughout the world. We're looking for that bloodline. If there was a hybrid race on this earth, as the Bible tells us and as ancient records and documents tell us, including Sumerian tablets, almost every religion you go back will tell you the same story. There were giants. So if there were giants back in the days of Noah, I want to find them.
Exactly.
I want to know about it, and I want to find their proof. And we basically start with the architecture. Some of the construction we're seeing in places in Bolivia and Peru and even Malta, Italy, is the Cyclopean architecture. And Cyclopean just means no mortar. The rocks are formed together. They're so precisely and perfectly
like
put
Machu
together.
Picchu.
Yes, a Machu Picchu. Yeah, absolutely.
Like most people know where that is.
Right. Or in Peru, like you see a lot of it. And where did that go?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden the next kind of generation is doing adobe, and that's, of course, you've got the mortar and the stones. But that Cyclopean is such a perfect and long-lasting construction. It would have been passed down. It would have been, utilized. It's still standing today.
Right.
So that's kind of the first one, and of course the legends around them. The Inca never took credit for Cyclopean megalithic structures. They said it was done by the giants.
Right, and they inherited the buildings or something.
Yes,
if I remember
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, and we believe even Egypt. They talk about the pharaohs. This is where the pharaohs were buried. No, maybe they were put there, but they were already there, and it's like, well, let's just use these.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're there for us, and we might as well get something out of it. Because it does. They kind of do take the society does kind of take a step back. If you think about it, to Adobe, that's kind of like going from science, surgery to, robotic surgery to, a knife, or like a knife made out of obsidian.
Right. Or a field medic.
Right, exactly.
You're out in the field doing it.
You don't have nothing, but you do it how you can.
Exactly. So there's definite clues that we can focus on as investigators that are not only physical evidence, but we can start piecing things together. And the DNA that we've been doing on the elongated skulls is giving us a lot of information too.
And you were talking about DNA. I know there's one thing I really want to touch on was the Star Child.
Yes.
And you've worked with the Star Child.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Star Child was a difficult case to accept because it had been the life work of Lloyd Pye, and Lloyd is loved and a very sincere researcher. So for us to take it and just open it up. Lloyd passed away. 2 years later, we were asked to be the team to come in and let's finish this. Let's get this taken care of. And that's kind of what we did. Well, it is what we did. Just in the couple of years, DNA has just gone through the roof. The access, the technology, the cost, and several other type of testing. We did a SIMS test, electron microscopic work, even physical exams from experts like the osteologists, or it's just amazing. It's like a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sounds like such a great, so many great stories and so many cool things to get your hands in, and I would love to, check out some information on. Do you have like a website or something that people can look at?
I do. All of our reports end up on the Field Report, so it's thefieldreports, all one word, .com. And of course, my name ChaseKloetzke.com, and I'm on Facebook, Twitter. I'm easy to find.
Now you're on YouTube with us.
I am. I'm happy.
That's
This is
awesome.
so great. I love this invitation.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Chase. Thank you for the information. Thank you for sitting with us and having an interview. And like I said, we're from B.A.Cons, and we really appreciate it.
I love it. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Yep.